Okay, let's see.
Knight's variation of the English opening. Now, this is something that was featured in the World Chess Championship.
I wonder how much he's going to make off this video. 32 minutes.
So we get E3, bishop to B4, we get queen to C2, bishop takes C3, and now we get the move queen takes C3. Now, B takes C3 is one of the other moves that white can play here, but traditionally when white plays these structures,
I'm sorry.
normally
can I add it to 2x speed?
When capturing towards the center. So, for example, another way of looking at it is say we get E4, bishop B4, queen C2 takes, for example. Now white will play D4 and put a lot of
I'm sorry. I just can't listen at one speed. Like, it's just too boring.
We get takes, we get queen takes C3, queen E7 being played, and now we have the move D3. Now, most of the main lines feature this move D4, D4, knight to D2, and D5. Many strong players have played this from both sides. I will add this as a variation that I have looked at in the recent past, and generally I think black is doing okay. The reason is that even though white has the bishops, this dark square bishop is very, very passive on the diagonal.
Okay.
After A5,
okay.
It's simple. White does
it's
not
a bit boring.
White wants to keep this diagonal open. For example, after we get
he's not really like, he's just talking about the game. Can you guys tell me where I should go? Is there a specific place that I should go to? Or specific comments that I should see? Okay, I'll do it slow.
And here Hans plays E4, trying to be very aggressive immediately. Now, as you will see from the board,
the best move.
Gone wildly astray for white at this point in the game. The opening has not gone how he was hoping for.
Indeed.
If white were able to get bishop B2 and E4 would still be good for black, but here white could play knight to D4, trading the knights on D4, and now at least even though you have some light square weaknesses with say knight B4, knight D3 down the road, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But in this position here, after we get the move E4 being played, white cannot really play knight to D4 because after knight D4, takes and say knight F4 with the idea of knight D3 or even queen G5. Black is doing. Sapila plays knight G1, queen C. We have C5 here. Black is doing very well. In fact, let me just set up a random position. These towers. So C5.
I'm so happy he's like my coach.
Makes sense simply to use this open C file down the road. Then black will capture the bishop and simply has an extra bishop on the board and will win very soon. So we get takes, we get E takes D3, bishop E7, king E7, and now white is relatively okay here. Now white still has not finished his development. You have this knight. So we get rook to C1 here, and after C5, E5, and so we get rook to C1, but he is moving the bishop back, and you win D3, king to F4 blitz game, bet played by move pawn to A3. So after A3, F4 split, B1 play. To B1, the dust has settled a lot.
I'm sorry, but like this is just boring to me. I'm sorry. It's not really interesting.
Traded on the queen side here, and it looks
I was expecting something more interesting.
Black is even a little king to E2, which is that here very, very hard E4 with the idea of playing E4. It's a nice move, it dodges the board, and eventually throws the game on the spot. Now when we look at this position, Hans has a minute and 34 seconds on the clock, and he uses all of 4 seconds to play the blunder that loses the game with the rook takes knight. Now in this position,
learn from it.
Should have traded the knights and played something like C5 and B4. Again, I'm not really convinced this is winning in the long term, or at least the perfect play. But considering the time situation, having 40 seconds more on the board here, and an easier position to play, I do think.
No, I agree.
Hans playing someone who's 300 points lower rated, you do expect Hans to win this position.
Yeah, you do.
Instead, Hans plays rook takes D3 after 4-second thing, and now his opponent Sapila is able to play his move rook to A7, checking the king, and now disaster is striking.
Wow, disaster.
Take the rook on D3 after rook takes. Once he moves, rook takes B1, and now 7th as rook E pawn. All of white's pawns are E5 check, but he misses the mate in 1. King E5 is played, and here mops up all the pawns on in the second round game titled Tuesday, as he simply lost here after king takes rook, rook takes bishop, white is an extra rook, mops up all the pawns on the king side, and that's GG.
He's a better player than me. Hikaru is not a better player than me.
And now we're going to move to the next game.
Guys, Hikaru, how old is Hikaru? Hikaru is like 35. I'm 20. Give it a couple years, and it'll be clear who the better player is. Like, I have 20 years of my career left. He's like retired.
Game was played in the 7th round. Hans won quite a few games in a row after losing. He lost this game, he drew 1 game. I believe going into this game, he was on 4.5 points out of 7, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been.
I hope he was watching the stream.
I think he was on 4.5 out of 7, and he's paired against another young junior player, one of the great players that we've heard a lot about in recent times, Tani Adewumi. Now, Tani is a feeding master. He's approximately.
No, but like the thing is that like you guys aren't used to people like being like honest. Like I'm not afraid to like speak my mind or like be honest. Like objectively, Hikaru is probably like but like. For example, in August, before the Sinquefield Cup, I won RCC beating Hikaru, Savane, and Zhang. So it's not like I can't compete with him, and I will be playing the next. Guys, just give it some time, and you'll see, it'll be clear.
He was, I believe, an immigrant, came over to America with his family due to all the fighting in Africa. He, I think, started playing in one of just the local shelters or something, took up chess, and he's become very, very good. I would also add that Tani is the only.
Oops. Oops. Oops, that was not good. I need to like have a professional setup. But I think scuff streamers are more popular.
Download Grammarly.
Welcome. On A3 is no longer hanging because you moved it out of the danger zone.
Is it working, guys?
So we get rook takes b1. At this point, it's now a matter of technique. Will Sapila be able to hang on, or will he get nervous? He's close to being someone much higher rated than him. Let's find out. So we get bishop c4, king to d1. Hans plays rook to d6. Sapila goes rook c7. Nice kebab here. Rook attacks everything on the
Is it better, guys?
as well as the pawn on c6. We get bishop to f1. g3 played here. We get bishop c4 back. Rook to c1, king e6, rook c3, king f6, king c2. Now white wants to play d3, putting all these pawns
Here we
on
go.
the
This should be
fourth rank
fun.
and eventually capturing the c pawn. So we get
I
king
am
e5,
sweating.
d3, bishop
So
d5,
hot.
e4. Great move here. Trying to remove the bishop, which guards the pawn on c6.
Where am I studying? I don't go to
B4,
college.
Rook c5 played now.
Okay, we
B4
already
won
saw
on the
this.
spot as well, but Sapila tries. Next thing we want to look at. His story is very inspirational. He was, I believe, an immigrant, came over to America with his family due to all the fighting in Africa. He, I think, started playing in one of just the local shelters or something.
Yeah, he was.
And he's become very, very good. I would also add
I like
that Tani is
Tani.
the only chess player in the world that I'm actually jealous of. Now, you may wonder, why am I jealous of Tani? The reason that I'm so jealous of Mr. Tani Adewumi is that maybe about a month ago, he actually was in this promo for this company, Uniqlo, and he played chess against none other than one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT.
Federer.
I know I'm going to get a lot of comments in the comments on this
Yeah,
video.
he played chess with
And I've been
Federer.
so mean towards Novak Djokovic, but at any rate, Tani was able to play against the legend, one of the GOATs, the Swiss maestro, Roger Federer. So Tani got to play chess against Roger Federer. Now, not to go into a long story on this, but
Hikaru
7 years
plays
back, both
tennis.
Magnus and I played in this tournament called Biel, which is in the country of Switzerland. And I remember that I think Magnus had actually made a request to organize, wondering if it would be possible to talk to Roger, play against Roger, something of that nature. It never happened, obviously. I feel the exact same way that Magnus does, but alas, neither of us have had the opportunity to meet Roger, let alone play chess or tennis with him. So I, for one, am very, very jealous of Tani, and I'm always going to be very jealous of him, no matter what happens in the future. So Han's playing with the white piece here against Tani, and we get to move e4. Now we have c5, knight to f3. Tani plays e6, and we get this move b3. Now this is avoiding some of the open lines.
Yeah, it's a nice line.
Takes
Okay.
black and play the con. By putting the very, very king side.
I'm not really like. It's kind of boring.
Stack the towers on the e file, but nonetheless, it's a pragmatic move.
Like
which
this
prevents black
analysis
from
isn't really
e2.
interesting
So for
to
example,
me.
say you go like rook e2. Han's this is advantage slipping away, but at the end of the day, the problem for Tani, intending the long way to go here, but the big problem, white h3 is how the h pawn was resigned, so he play back into contention. I believe after this win, he was now on 5.5 points out of 8. I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure
5.5 and a 7.
So Haas wins this game. He's on 5.5 out of 7. I should say, not 5.5 out of 8. He's on, I believe, 5.5 out of 7. He's rolling into it. He's starting to pick up speed and momentum and get into contention to potentially win the Title Tuesday event in his first event back on chess.com. So now let's go to the very next game. This is round number 8. Hans playing with the white pieces against Dimitri Andreevkin.
Yeah.
Obviously getting some soft preparing since he lost that second round game. But d4, recent d2, d1. Actually started captures with the pawn. Either work for a knight. Me up inside towards the by the bishop. Creating the classic move. Hans being played 5 here. Sure. So we got bishop c8 to play queen 8. Instead of drake 3, there's a very collision should be a draw, even though black is an extra pawn for the following reasons. First,
Sorry.
let's say you get
This is
behind
just.
the pawn.
I'm trying not to like.
But you can't. Let's say king. We get rook to 8. A little bit too much time. And now after rook takes c3 flags. Now the game would have been a draw in a classical format after rook takes a5, rook g3, king f4, rook g1. Let's just say check, king g7, rook a5, king h6, and a move like king f3. Now with the 2v1, black has an extra pawn, but all the pawns are on the
Based.
same side of the board, so neither side can do it.
Of course, I understand the analysis, but it's not like.
So with this loss, pawns drops at 5.5 points.
I was just
each,
expecting
and the
something
dream
more
of trying to win
interesting.
Title Tuesday effectively disappears or vanishes because in general the winning score is never less than 9 points out
Yeah,
of
I
11.
agree.
That is one on
He'll probably
occasions.
talk.
So Hans ends up losing.
Well, it's just very
and was back
basic.
against
Like,
about
it's for
5.5 points out of 8.
beginners.
He would go on to draw another game. He lost, I believe, in the final round to an IM, and he ends up on a score of 7 out of 11. Now, not a great score, obviously his first tournament back, but at any rate, it's certainly not what he was hoping for. So at any rate, you guys, I hope you
Not
enjoyed
what
this
he's-
video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below.
It's certainly not what I was hoping for. Wait, but I actually want to watch this video. This other one. Yeah, let's watch this video. This is one I actually want to react to.
Switch to Fios Home Internet. Plan start
I'll
at
react to this one.
$25 a month.
Look.
Welcome back, everyone, for today's
This I'll put
video.
at
We
one
have a very
speed.
big update regarding the scandal that everyone saw and rocked the chess world nearly 1 year ago. So today we have a big article from chess.com. Here we go. We have, of course, the Hans Niemann update from chess.com. So let's go right into the action. So, from chess.com, we see chess.com concludes the legal dispute
Okay,
with
this I'll
Hans
just
Niemann.
skip through
Niemann
quickly.
to return to chess.com. Chess.com and Hans Niemann have resolved their
I think he
differences and are
starts-
moving forward. As many readers,
When does he finish the
order?
order?
Determinative attitude and chess field cup looks like it's Hans manner of it. Doesn't really say a whole lot. Plain everything notes. You will notice a couple of things though that are probably very.
He was gonna talk
First
after
of all,
this.
there is no statement from me. Secondly, I am not mentioned in this. I will say it quite clearly. I do feel like I got dragged into this, and so that is one little bit that I want
Well, okay.
to ask. People are gonna look at this and be like, "Well, where's Hikaru's statement?" There's no statement from Hikaru. That being said, of course, as I mentioned at the start of this video,
Well, I think that if you check YouTube's Hikaru's YouTube channel, let's just search. Let's just do a quick search. Let's just see, like GM Hikaru, Hans Niemann, and let's see how many videos he has on his channel. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I make it only so it's his channel? How do I make it like the amount of videos? Anyways, okay.
will be saying a couple of things.
Okay, let's see
now
what he
this is
wants
more or
to
less,
say.
I don't want to say a statement. I don't really like reading verbatim bit for bit, but due to the sensitivity around the issue, here's what I will say. The legal matter related to Hans and the Singfield Cup, Chess.com's report, and decisions and opinions expressed are over. Ultimately, everyone will or has formed their own opinions. Some have very strong opinions one way or the other. I don't think that anyone's opinion is going to change at this point in time. So everyone has their own opinions about Hans based upon his performance there and in other events. We of course do know that FIDE has implemented new additional security measures since the events of the Singfield Cup. Of course, as far as Hans goes,
Okay, that's like, I don't know what he means by that.
we do know that Hans is currently rated about 40 to 45 points lower than.
Okay, 44. So my current rating is 2667. That is 33 points below 2700. So it's not this like a serious change. Like it's a very normal thing.
He was after the Singfield Cup did conclude in September of 2020.
Well, after the Singfield Cup, after the supposed increased measures, I performed well at the U.S. Championship. Then I performed well in Spain. Then I immediately after what he's saying, the Singfield Cup, I went up to 2710. So I continued increasing my rating, and I only dropped recently, but I was maintaining 2700 for like 6 months after. So again, it's just like he's just very like it's just like a very stupid statement to say. Like after all of the pressure and after all of the like attacks and all the scrutiny, I still like increased my rating. So okay.
Again, whatever the reasons may be, he has not been performing at that.
Okay, I had like I lost against like a bunch of underrated Indian kids.
Same level. Hans, however, is able to compete very frequently throughout the world.
Okay.
I said earlier, he's been playing tournaments pretty much non-stop since the lawsuit. I mean, I think he was last in Abu.
Okay, so by him saying this is trying to state that I haven't been blacklisted and I haven't lost invitations, but the tournaments that I've played have all been open tournaments where I have been the top or second seed. So playing in these tournaments is like suicide for your rating. Like it's really, really difficult to gain rating. No players of my rating play in these tournaments. And if you look at, let's say last year I played invitationals in St. Louis. I have not been invited to a single tournament to St. Louis. St. Louis has not invited me to any tournaments. Like literally, St. Louis doesn't even respond to my emails. So for him to say that like there hasn't been a negative effect, like the St. Louis Chess Club literally does not respond to my emails. They don't invite me to any tournaments, and that's like in America. But if you're talking about like outside of the US, all the invitational tournaments that I played before, I got no invitations.
Dhabi, he played a tournament, I think Kazakhstan.
And all these tournaments I'm playing, there's a reason no one in my rating plays them.
I think Romania even, so he's been all over the world playing a lot of tournaments, so he is not short on opportunities.
Okay, that's not short on opportunities, yes, okay. That's like, I don't understand how he can even say that.
The present time. So even despite this, I mean, he has struggled, so be it, whatever the reason might be, he's lost or struggled to win against players who are 400 or more points lower.
Oh, come on. Hikaru, like, I've lost or struggled to beat people, he's reading off of like a script of like trying to like make insinuations. It's just ridiculous. Like he knows what he's saying is just like complete bullshit. Like I've lost or struggled 400 points. Like okay, I lost like one game. Like are you kidding me? Like it's ridiculous. Like he has no idea what he's saying, and he even knows that it's complete bullshit. Like are you kidding me? Because I lost one game, you're trying to now insinuate that I'm not a good chess player? Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's like, maybe I could respect him if he had the nerve to actually say what he means. But he hides behind innuendo and these, like, random stupid statistics,
Or the Magnus Carlsen, but again, time will tell, obviously. All that said, and leaving the Hans issue aside, we should not ignore the very serious threat that cheating does pose to chess, whether it is online or whether it is over the board. It is a real concern.
Like maybe I started playing poorly because I'm not getting any opportunities. I'm under stress. I'm under if other people were in my same situation, you would not expect someone to continue performing at such a high level under such scrutiny.
Connor chess faces opportunities to cheat, which, to be frank, did not exist even maybe 30 years ago. I was going to say 100 years, but frankly, prior to technology did not exist because obviously, as we know, in the modern age, computers have long surpassed humans. Probably, I would say, again, this is a little bit historical, but until about 1997-ish, humans were still better than the best computer programs.
But the bad thing is that like all of his viewers, like they have no idea, so they'll just like watch this, and they'll watch this and they won't like they have no idea. Like even most of you guys might believe what he's saying, but when I obviously like it's very clear for me to like refute every single thing he's saying, you know.
Ever since 1997, when Garry Kasparov, the former world chess champion, played against Deep Blue, the IBM supercomputer, computers have just surpassed humans. Every year since then, they've gotten better and better, and now it's not even comparable. We're just so bad at chess relative to computers. So, again, the opportunities are much different now versus, say, 30, even 100 years ago. We need stronger anti-cheating standards and to provide a safe space for players to report their concerns. Now, this is very, very important to mention that where players are able to report their concerns without being sued, labeled as sore losers, or flat out ignored. This, again, is quite relevant. And, you know, I think this is where we're going to kind of round it out a little bit here, just with this last little bit. Because I think, you know, we've seen a lot of narratives, a lot of things that have been said about this over time. But, as I said back in September of 2022, there were many very high-rated grandmasters who were speculating.
Next level mode.
Yeah, no. If I start reacting to the Lex Friedman podcast, it's not going to be good.
Cheating over the board. So there were many strong players. Down the road, I may or may not choose to name names. You know, I've had players who wrote directly to me, in fact, as well as others. And I do feel like many of these players, they've been able to kind of not have their names out there, even though they've very much been involved in everything related to cheating. Now, of course, as I said, I'm not going to delve into that right now, but I might go into that in the future, as I do think it's very important to acknowledge the role that they played in all of this. In all of this. So that's more or less all that I have to say right now. I think, you know, looking at it broadly, it was a very big scandal at the time it happened. We've now moved forward from there. I think it's good that it's good that chess can move forward. It's good that this is behind us. I think, you know, there were a lot of things that were spawned out of this that were very negative, definitely reflected very poorly on chess as a whole. And I just hope that as far as like, you know, over the board or online cheating, whether you look at FIDE, whether you look at chess.com, this is an issue that is taken very seriously. I think ultimately that is the most important thing, because when we go forward into the future, there are a lot of big events over the board online, and the single biggest threat is definitely cheating, without a doubt. So we do need to keep that in mind.
No, but
as I said,
listen, you know, Hikaru, say it with your chest.
Has been resolved.
Don't hide behind innuendo.
I may or may not have more to say about the future. Right now, of course, due to the sensitivity around it and everything, I don't really feel like it's the right time. So I more or less told you guys how I feel. You know, again, not a laughing matter by any stretch of the imagination for anybody involved, obviously. Quite stressful for many of the parties, certainly. I think for everyone involved. So
yeah, it was quite stressful. For yes, I'm sure.
That should be noted. And then, as I said, you know, I think the last point, I'm repeating myself because obviously, you know, I don't do a lot of these like short article blog posts and turn them into videos, but the last point needs to be, I will stress that again, that I think there are a lot of people who are able to sort of, you know, not have their names out there, it was not no public.
Well, the thing is that these other people, Hikaru should recognize that that when he says something, and he has this huge platform, that it has, like, I don't understand how he is at all a victim here. He used his platform to just, the things he said were just so ridiculous, and it's like if I really wanted to, I could go video by video and I could refute everything he said. I'm not going to do that, but the reality is that he knows, like, this, it's you know, he doesn't even believe what he's saying.
They've been complaining about a lot of over-the-board cheating stuff over the previous couple of years, and I do hope that at some point some of those players do come forward and they acknowledge, you know, what they said, instead of hoping that they can kind of fly under the.
But what do you mean? People should acknowledge what they said privately. Like, it's
so that is the last little bit that I have to add about the topic. Again, it is good that everything has been resolved. It's good for all parties. Of course, it's obviously, I mean, it's good for me, it's good for Mag, it's good for chess.com, and good for Hans. Everybody gets to go forward with their lives. We get to continue playing chess and following this great game. So I think that's pretty much it for right now. Obviously, make sure to leave your comments below. You know, there's certain things that of course can be said, cannot be said, but I think this is a pretty good place to leave it for the time being due to the sensitivity around this. But again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will be back to covering chess games and doing recaps tomorrow. I'm currently here in Orlando, going to go to Disney World, take a bit of a vacation, so a little bit surprising to see.
No, but it's just spineless, you know. Like, you should just, you know, the way it's just spineless.
Morning, but we have seen this drop, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave your comments below, and we'll be back soon with some more great content, including YouTube recaps from the Chess Champions Tour, I believe, starting from tomorrow. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's very controversial. I wish there was perhaps more to this article. You kind of expect, when you see like this big drop of news, you expect something bigger, but this is what it is. So it reads very much like legalese, so that's how it goes. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll be back soon with some more great YouTube-only content. See you guys. Bye.
Yeah, that's not really. I'm not a comment Andy. I'm not a comment Andy at all. Okay. If you guys are curious for my statement, there's a statement on YouTube. If you're, I mean, not on YouTube. On Twitter and Instagram, where I discuss certain things. If you want to check that, Instagram and Twitter, there's a video. Okay. Let's play some Blitz. But okay, I don't know. Like, I could go down the rabbit hole of like reacting to like all of Gotham Chess's videos, but like the reality is that, you know, I want to focus on chess. Let's play some more chess. Let's play some games. Let's I only did that just because I think Hikaru like needs to be refuted. Like, what he's saying, it's propaganda, you know. It's honestly just propaganda. Because no one's like calling him out, you know. Like there's no one to like correct his just obviously like false. Gotham was not neutral, guys. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Like, Gotham was not neutral at all. Like, if you think that anyone who has like you need to like look at the, you know, okay. No one, you cannot be neutral if you are sponsored by a company that is involved. Like, you just can't. I'm not specifically saying anything he said, but like, you just can't be neutral. You should disclose like your financial interest. You know, like, it's like saying that like someone who's a politician is investigating a company that they have stock in. You know, like, it's like there's no, you know.